Hello, Algebra 1. This is just a quick quiz review video. Remember, you can also watch any of these subsequent videos on our Chapter 1 Google site as well. All of those are helpful for our quiz on Monday. First of all, we have solved negative 2/5 plus 3/10 d equals 2d plus 11 over 20. In this particular problem, let's take the opportunity to get a common denominator all the way across. So put the 2d over 1. That leaves us with 1, 5, 10, and 20. So if we have 1, 5, 10, and 20, our least common denominator is going to be 20. So we are going to multiply in order to get that common denominator. So 5 times 4, multiply the top as well. 10 times 2, multiply by the top as well. 1 times 20, multiply by the top. And then 20 times 1. This establishes our common denominator all the way across the entire problem. So now we have negative 8 over 20 plus 6d over 20 equals 40d over 20 plus 11d over 20. And once you've got that common denominator all the way across the problem, you no longer need it. So now we have no more fractions, and we have negative 8 plus 6d equals 40d plus 11. This becomes a simple equation to solve. Remember, we can follow along on the steps on our solving multi-step equations foldable. That might be helpful for you. So I'm going to solve from here. Minus 6d minus 6d. Negative 8 equals 34d plus 11. Remember, line up those equal signs, work down the page. Next, minus 11, minus 11. 11's cancel. We get negative 19 equals 34d. Last step here is to solve for d by dividing by 34. 34's cancel. And working down the page here, d equals negative 19 over 34. Equal signs are lined up. Let's go through and justify our steps. When we get our common denominator, we're actually using the multiplication property of equality. Next, the subtraction property of equality. Next, the subtraction property of equality. And lastly, the division property of equality. Justifying our steps all the way down the problem. That is number 1. Number 2, solve. Still solving here. We have 1/2 times 4x minus 8 equals negative 1/3 times negative 12x plus 6. We're going to use the distributive property first in order to get rid of those fractions and grouping symbols. 1/2 of 4x is 2x. Remember, multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. Minus 8 times 1/2 is 4, so minus 4 equals, line up those equal signs as we work down the page. Negative 1/3 times negative 12 is 4x. Negative 1/3 times positive 6 is negative 2. So we've eliminated the grouping symbols and we've eliminated the fractions. Minus 2x minus 2x. Those cancel. Negative 4 equals 2x minus 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2's cancel. So we get negative 2 equals 2x. Last step, division property of equality, divide by 2. Divide by 2, x equals negative 1. Let's justify those steps. First thing we did, distributive property. Next, subtraction property of equality. Next, addition property of equality. And finally, division property of equality solved. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is not a solve problem, it is a simplify problem. Simplify by following order of operations. Our quizzes and tests this year will be cumulative. We'll always have something old from a previous section or chapter, which is what we have here. So several things going on. Just in case you've forgotten, our order of operations, GEMS, grouping symbols, then exponents, then multiplication or division, then subtraction or addition, and as always, from left to right. So here's what I see first. First of all, we have the big fat fraction bar, which is a grouping symbol, which means we're going to look on the top with another grouping symbol, and then on the bottom, yet another grouping symbol. So working down the page, we've got 10 squared divided by 5 times, inside of those parentheses is 8 minus 3. And 8 minus 3, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. Over 3 times 24 divided by 2 is 12, plus 2 squared plus 10. Okay, we have simplified what is inside of the grouping symbols. Now we're going to look towards the exponents. We've got an exponent here and there. So the next step is going to look like this. 10 squared. Remember, 10 squared means 10 times 10, and that is 100. So 10 squared is 100 divided by 5 times 5 over 3 times 12. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 squared is 4 plus 10. Let's keep going. Left to right, multiply or divide in the order that it comes. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. 20 times 5 over. And then 3 times 12 is 36, plus 4, plus 10. I'm about to run off the page, so I am going to go to the right. 20 times 5 is 100 over 36 plus 4 plus 10. That's 40 plus 10. That's 50. Finally, I get a simplified answer of 2. So on our quiz on Monday, we'll have solving equations to do. We'll have a simplify problem, and we will probably have a problem where you have to write an equation from words. Remember, you can watch any other videos from the Chapter 1 Google site.